All right, everybody, let's get started with today's session. The highest in me bows to the highest in you. The stillness in me recognizes the stillness in you. And I'd like to welcome you for today's practice. My name is Nitya Shanti, and today's session is about loving silence. And we'll explore more deeply what that means. So I invite you to all sit comfortably in any position that you like. Usually sitting up straight is nice. If you want to put your videos on, you can. It's nice to get some feedback, but if not, that's fine as well. And inviting you to either close your eyes or have them half open, whatever feels comfortable. And in our life, we have had an attraction to, an affinity towards many things, perhaps, many different things, many different activities, many different people. I remember when I was in school, I would just feel so attracted to somebody else in my class, and I just want to be friends with that person. I'd love to be friends with that person. I want to spend time with that person. So an affinity, an attraction, a desire to spend more time with certain activities. Maybe you enjoyed some sports. I remember enjoying football, badminton. There's an attraction, there's an affinity, there's a liking. But only when I was about 16 or 17 years old, then for the very first time, I was introduced to noticing the background of silence. What does it mean, the background of silence? The fact that you can hear me now automatically implies that where I'm seated, there is some semblance of silence. And where you're seated, there's some semblance, some background of silence. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to hear what I'm saying. So it's only when I first began meditating at the age of about 16 that I was introduced to the natural silence that's always already here. It's not something that you have to attain or accomplish. It's something you have to notice. And how do we notice it? We notice it by defocusing from our thinking. Not even saying stop thinking. Sometimes you can, sometimes it's not easy. Just defocus from the thinking, which means lose interest. Also defocus from other experiences, which simply means take it all in. Don't focus on specific things you're seeing, feeling, and even hearing. Of course, you can hear my voice, but it's okay to defocus from my voice and just take it all in. So in this way, when we take it all in other words, we're not being selective, we're not being directive regarding our attention, then we begin to notice this underlying stillness, underlying silence. And now there's a possibility, the possibility to like this, the possibility to be drawn towards this, the possibility to be attracted to this, and even the possibility to love this. This is a very unusual thing to love because it's not a thing. Most other people and activities, you can describe them. But this one's hard to describe. It's not a thing. Closest we can come is something like loving beingness. Loving not just specific aspects of our experience, loving the fact of experience. Whatever you like, whatever you love, you tend to give it more attention, isn't it? Whatever your interests are, hobbies are, you tend to give it more attention quite effortlessly. So, right there in two words, you have a pretty complete summary of the practice: loving silence, which is another way of saying loving beingness, loving isness, loving stillness, loving that which never comes and never goes, and yet it's always present. It's the background of every experience. You can't do this wrong, so there's no need to overthink it. In a way, it's the most natural thing. Just like if you have to take aim and hit the earth with something in your hand. Let's say you're holding an apple in your hand or a flower in your hand. What are the chances you're going to miss the earth? Chances are pretty much zero. In the same way, you can't really miss this, but you can complicate it with your mind. You can imagine it's supposed to be a certain way, but it's actually super simple. Love the silence that is forever between your thoughts, around your thoughts, behind your thoughts. Love the silence between these words, around these words, behind these words. Love that which is still and indescribable, forever unknown, which doesn't make it unreal, between each experience, around each experience, behind, beneath the foundation of every experience. To love something is to let it be, to relish it exactly the way it is, without trying to improve, extend, deepen, just the way it is. So maybe some of you are not able to access much silence. And you know what? That's perfect. You love the extent to which you presently have access to silence, to stillness. Whatever you love grows, expands, fills your attention. The day we can love silence more than thinking will be an important day in our life. The day we can love stillness more than activity, the underlying stillness, more than the perpetual activity. That'll be an important day in our life. And that day could be today. And that time could be now. And we love silence in a way that includes thought and thinking. We love stillness in a way that includes activity and experiences. Nothing is excluded. Everything is included. And let this be an ordinary experience. It doesn't have to be an extraordinary experience. We're not thirsting for the next experience. Just simple. Liking being present. Enjoying defocusing from specific thoughts, specific sensory experiences. Enjoying this natural expansion, rest. It's like you're putting down all the things that you were unconsciously carrying. Maybe these mountains that you're carrying are just meant to be admired, not carried. Mountains are fun to look at, no fun to carry. Put down the burden. You'll find that things self-organize in the most immaculate way when you put them down. This is also known as non-interference. Loving non-interference, non-resistance. Or in simpler words, letting things be, letting everything be. And in case you can't do it, letting your inability to let everything be, letting that be. So in other words, the secret to being present is to like being present, enjoy being present, appreciate what is showing up in your experience, loving what is. The secret to all of this is loving the now and the now and the now and the now within the now, Loving even your inability to love the now. Loving things just the way they are. Welcoming all of it. Taking a break from trying to fix yourself, improve yourself, even heal yourself. Take a break. What if I told you that your life is not your business? This life is life's business. This idea that it's your life, that's what's creating agitation, contradiction, constipation. Your life is not your business. What needs to happen will happen. Doesn't need to happen. No need to fret about it. So while it may appear like this is one person speaking to all of you, I'd like you to be open to the possibility that this is life speaking to itself. This is silence pointing to itself. Without memory, this could be your voice. And it is. So as long as we think we are separate individuals with the volition, then I would say one of the best things you can do is to love the silence. Love the silence. And do it imperfectly. Do it in a haphazard way. Even do it in an inconsistent way, but do it. Just do it, and something will start to happen. Each time you love the silence, you emerge a little cleaner, a little lighter, a little more transparent. And one day you'll dive in. You'll never return. Then it's no longer loving silence, then it's silence loving. Silence speaking, silence acting. If thoughts are required, Silence itself will think those thoughts. But usually not too much thinking is required. Life is just pure activity without an actor. Rumi says the only time wasted is when we are not loving. Mhm. This world is in big trouble from bottom to top. This world is in big trouble from bottom to top. It can be swiftly healed with the balm of love. Resolve everything with love and dissolve everything back into love, which is the essence of everything. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Wonderful. Thank you all for joining today's practice. Take a minute or so to gently emerge. We usually have a few minutes open for interaction at the end. So in case you want to stay on for that, you can. And if not, it's okay to leave as well. So if any of you would like to stay on and share something, ask something, please go ahead. And if not, that's okay as well. You think it is possible to remain thoughtless? uh, Not as a person. If you identify yourself as a person, probably hard. But if you, like, the practice today was about loving the silence. The silence is not in opposition to thought. It's not against thought. It's the background of thought. Like right now I'm speaking, and the fact that you can hear me is because it's mostly quiet around me. And it probably is mostly quiet around you. Otherwise, you can't hear what I'm saying. So we tend to get focused and fixated on the content of our experience. what is in our experience. But very rarely do we notice the fact of our experience. You could even say the context of our experience. So in that, if you look at it from that perspective, then in fact, I would forget about remain thoughtless. You've never had a thought in your life. That part of you never had a thought in its life. Literally, I'm not even making it up. That part of you, like for example, I'll ask you, and just be honest, right? Do you remember being born? You were born, right? You were told on what date you were born, which place you were born. Do you remember being born? How do you know it's not it's a myth? And will you remember dying? People will say you died at so and so time, but will you remember dying? So for all you know, it's a myth. It's just a very prevalent myth. But this will only make sense when you begin to connect with presence. You start realizing, wow, this has no beginning and this has no end. You know, when we use the word eternal, people think eternal means endless time. But actually, no, eternal actually means ever present. So you get in touch with something eternal, something indestructible, something that neither comes nor goes. And through affinity with that, what I'm saying begins to make sense. Otherwise, I would say probably not possible to remain thoughtless. See if that makes sense. Hmm. Brian and I are wearing similar shirts today. All right. Anybody else would like to say something? Share something or ask something? I'll probably end with a short story from my life. I was someone who was very, probably still am, very eclectic. Eclectic in the sense of drawn to many different interests. I was interested in painting, in music, in martial arts, interested in many different kinds of books. And the thing with me was I would take something up, and after a while, maybe a few months, maybe sometimes a little longer, I'd lose interest and go on to the next thing, right? So began martial arts and gave it up. Began musical instrument, gave it up. Began art and painting, gave it up. When I was 16 and I went for a meditation course, first of all, it was not easy. I found it very difficult. In fact, I would, at that time, if you'd asked me, I would have said, the hardest thing I've ever done. Meditate for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. But something in me said, don't give this one up. It's very interesting. Your inner knowing, don't give this one up. You've tried many things and you dropped many things. Don't give this one up. Stick with it. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Doesn't matter how difficult it is. So little more than 30 years, you can guess my age. A little more than 30 years, And here we are. We've stuck with it. Right? Amazing. So this is a blessing. Stick with it. Forget about the results. Forget about how much progress you make and all of that. Just stick with it. We are misidentifying. We're identified with our thinking. People say, I can't meditate, too many thoughts. Yeah, you meditate because you have too many thoughts. You don't meditate to not have thoughts. You meditate because you are too addicted to believing everything your mind says. Lose interest in your mind. You'll only lose interest in your mind when you have something better to be more interested in, right? Otherwise, who will lose interest? Mind is full of ideas and concepts. And you'll only lose interest in your desires when you have a higher experience beyond the world of the senses. Otherwise, always things are always more fascinating. So we have practices like this to get a glimpse of it. And glimpse after glimpse after glimpse. We had this advertisement on television here in India about how first, it's about alcoholism. First, you drink from the bottle, but then the bottle drinks from you. So, in a way, same with this. First, you think you're practicing. But after a while, you're not practicing, it's practicing. This idea that I'm practicing, you're not actually practicing. You think you chose to come to this session. No, you didn't. Something is calling. You have actually no choice. So you should allow yourself to get hooked. In this world, everyone's trying to hook you, right? Everyone's got a marketing pitch. They want to hook you. But have you ever allowed silence to hook you? Love to hook you? Have you ever allowed God to hook you? Allow God to hook you. God is grand overall design. Get nicely hooked. Get nicely baited. That's that's amazing. So in between, I even tried to stop meditating, and it just like even if I would actually stop meditating, I can't. It's like no. It's like now it's gone beyond me. Like I can't help it. It's just always there. That presence is always there. Can't shake it off. It's who we are. It's not something. If you could get it, you will also lose it. But it's not something you can get. It's who you are. So you can't shake off who you are. So I kept that little sweet promise to myself to stick with it. And now I can't unstick myself. Good. So thank you for joining. It was fun to be with you this evening. Lots of love, and until next time. See ya.